What has Australia's youth become? So often we hear of car accidents, bashings, drug overdoses and rape. But what causes all this wicked behaviour? Statistics show that 92% of males aged 13 to 25 are the cause of all this. Today on Three Corners, we take a closer look at what has brought Australia's youth to this reckless behaviour. Media has come a long way since the first record player. It's developed into music, video games, radio and television and many other fields. All of these impact our everyday lives more than we realise.
The Australian Bureau of Statistics indicates that 75% of Australian households actively use video games. It is not the whole family who play either. 9 out of 10 people who play video games are males aged 13 to 25. The exact statistical majority of those who cause violent assaults, theft and so forth. You heard me correct. If you have children, they may have a potentially violent future. We travelled to the US to find out what research they have been doing on why children behave this way. There was definitely a link between video games and violence, so we interviewed Dr. Richard Dawkins to find out more on this subject.
We are definitely experiencing a time of change in human evolutionary advance.
So you believe evolution is behind this violent behaviour? In what ways are video games connected to this issue?
Religion, is the cause of all violent behaviour. You're either an ignorant or a moron if you didn't know that. As I was saying, the human genome is adapting to the environment it spends most of its time in. In this case, the environment is the world of video games. Children who play violent video games will gradually evolve a violent mind. Their instincts will be hostile, as their subconscious believes they must be violent to survive. Which is true in the world of video games, but not in this world, the world of real life.
Is this problem getting worse?
Almost as rapidly as our Christian infestation. We predict that in 2025, 99% of children will be brainwashed by violent media. There will be massive increases in murders, thefts, cannibalism, and expired parking meters.
Is there any possible way to stop this dilemma?
Cut off the head and the body will die. Stop the game companies from developing violent video games, music, and so forth. And the children will stop evolving into mindless beasts.
This information was very disturbing. Australia's male youth are biologically evolving into killers. We interviewed students from a typical Queensland Christian school we cannot name to see if we could catch a glimpse of this current crisis in action.
Hi, my name is Sue Seggleton from Three Corners. Would you mind us interviewing you about violence in video games?
Yeah, sure, why not?
That is so cool!
You are a typical Australian youthful teenager, are you not?
Yeah.
So when was the last time you played a violent video game?
What do you mean by violent? Like, as in shooting games?
Anything involving shooting, stabbing, murdering innocent civilians, parking in disabled parking spaces, etc.
The last game I played was Grid. That's a racing game. That was like 2 days ago.
You didn't answer the question. When was the last time you played a violent video game?
I don't think I'm comfortable doing this video.
Why are you avoiding this issue? When was the last time you murdered someone? What illicit drugs are you taking? The student was obviously avoiding the issue. He was probably feeling guilty about the violent acts that he recently committed. We interviewed another student in the hopes of gaining an inside view of the offending criminals. So when was the last video game you played? It was called Massacres of Fun. It involved running around a town killing innocent civilians with chainsaws, guns and knives. It also involved theft, drugs and other illegal activities. It's a very fun game. So, have you ever bashed, murdered, stolen, used drugs, or parked into with parking spaces before? I try to do all those activities every day. Video games inspire me to express myself in violent ways towards the innocent. Could you describe what you did yesterday? Well, I came to school and my English teacher reminded me of an enemy in one of the ultra-violent video games I play every day. So, out of instincts, I suddenly decided to attack him. It was almost as if my body was telling me to. It was as if I had evolved into some violent being from a violent video game. Do you regret this at all? Absolutely not. Australia's youth have deteriorated. They have evolved into violent beasts that prey on the innocent. They themselves also know the cause. Violent video games produced by organisations around the globe are single-handedly destroying Australia's youth. Scientists like Dawkins have proven it. We have seen it in action. And it continues right now as we speak of it. What is to be done of this infestation of evil? How can we save Australia's youth? Stop your children from playing sadistic video games and other forms of putrid media. Only then can we hope that Australia's youth hasn't evolved too far. Thank you for watching Three Corners and good night.